Hi there, I'm Brian. Welcome to my channel, Black and Blue in America. Now, what's this all about? Well, black, I'm obviously a black man, and blue, I am a Democrat. I live in one of the reddest counties in one of the reddest states in the union, so I feel like an outsider a lot of the time. But this is not about complaining. This is not about railing against everything that's bad, even though I am going to keep it real. This is about trying to find solutions. This is about being hopeful. This is about educating ourselves and getting involved and participating. As I record this, we are 9 days after the election of Donald Trump for the second time to be the president of the United States of America. Many of us are in shock and awe over this decision. For us, people of color, for women, for people who are LGBTQ, et cetera, it feels like a real slap in the face. It feels like a step backward, 50, 60, 70 years, or maybe even more. And as I record this, Donald Trump is making his cabinet picks, and it's a bunch of clowns as we expected it was going to be. People like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, and maybe unofficial positions, but Matt Gaetz as Attorney General, etc. Now, I have to be really frank with you. Since the election, I have turned my news way back. I really say this is time for me to have some self-care, so I'm not following things very, very closely on a day-to-day basis. But I do want to point out I want to point out, first of all, the reality. Reality is we're going to have Donald Trump for 4 years, assuming that his health holds out that long. The reality is we have a Republican Senate and most likely a Republican House. And so far, they've been shown to show no backbone whatsoever to standing up to him on any level. So we can expect probably a rubber stamp. We have a Supreme Court that's handpicked mostly by Trump, and we'll probably have more appointees by Trump. So we've got that going forward for who knows, a generation or more. So those are the realities on the ground. We don't have the Congress to keep him in check. We don't have the courts to keep him in check. And he feels that he has a mandate and pretty much can do what he wants. As the court said, as long as it's in his official capacity, he can't even commit any crimes. So that's the downside. Now let's talk about some of the things that are maybe a little bit more hopeful. The Senate just elected the Senate Majority Leader for the upcoming session, and they elected John Thune. Now, of the three that were running, John Cornyn, John Thune, and Rick Scott, John Thune is probably the most or the most moderate, I should say. Rick Scott being the one that I expected, and Donald Trump didn't weigh in on this, and this was a behind-the-scenes secret vote. So I think this bodes well for the Senate going forward. It shows that at least some of the senators want to be reasonable and not pick the most wild person. Now, Trump is trying to get around Senate confirmation for his cabinet picks. We'll see if the Senate allows him to do that. And if they don't, if they actually stand up and say these people aren't qualified. So that's a good sign. The other thing is, don't despair about the majority of people in America support Donald Trump or this current administration. The majority of the people in this country, I would believe, do not. We don't know. 60 million people didn't vote. And a lot of the people that did vote for this administration voted because of, quote, economic policies, which they don't understand and can't name. But already, I think there's a little bit of buyer's remorse. And we can tell this from some anecdotal evidence like Google searches, like, how do I change my vote? Google searches on things like, what are tariffs? Because when they voted for him, they didn't understand it. Pretty much everything that we buy comes in from somewhere overseas in America, from food to automobiles to televisions to refrigerators, etc. And a 20% tariff across the board, if it happened, would be an economic disaster. And the thought that we're just going to slap tariffs on things so people will manufacture in the U.S. First of all, it's not that simple to move manufacturing in the U.S. There's skills involved, there's labor involved, and labor is more expensive in the U.S. So even if you could pull it off, the prices of everything would go up. So hopefully people will start to figure this out sooner rather than later. So I'm going to remain optimistic that things are not going to be as bad as they could possibly be, but make no mistake that Trump and his cronies will try to make things bad. And we'll talk in the future. I want to keep this one fairly short. We'll talk in the future about why they might want to do that. We'll talk about how they might want to do that. And we'll talk about how we should respond. So that's it for today. Just to make a real quick introductory video, let you know why I'm here, what I'm here to tell you, what I plan to do going forward. And I'd love to hear from you as to what your thoughts are and what you'd like to see from the channel. This is the first video, so you can have a chance to have some input. Thanks for being here and have a great day.